Welcome to WT History. In this series, we list all the major events that happened in the world in a year, starting from 1776 to 2024. On January 13th, Nicolas Jean Hugon de Basseville, a representative of revolutionary France, was lynched by a mob in Rome. Basseville had been sent to spread revolutionary ideals, but his mission angered the local population. Just 8 days later, on January 21st, King Louis XVI, now referred to as Citizen Capet, was found guilty of treason by the National Convention and guillotined in Paris. His execution marked the end of the monarchy and the beginning of a new, turbulent era for France. By February 1st, France was at war with Great Britain and the Dutch Republic, and soon Spain. This was the start of the War of the First Coalition. In February, a young Napoleon Bonaparte made his first notable appearance. As a 23-year-old lieutenant, he was second in command during a French expedition to Sardinia. The campaign began on February 11th, but by May 25th, the last French troops surrendered to a Spanish fleet. On March 18th, the Second Battle of Neerwinden saw a coalition army of Habsburg monarchy and Dutch Republic troops repulse attacks from French Republican forces. On April 6th, the Committee of Public Safety was established with Georges Danton at its helm. This powerful body would soon become synonymous with the Reign of Terror, as it sought to protect the revolution from its enemies. By May 31st, tensions within the National Convention reached a boiling point. Regular troops under François Henriot demanded that the Girondins, a moderate faction, be expelled. On June 2nd, the Girondins were overthrown, signaling a shift toward radicalism in the revolution. The fall of the Girondins paved the way for the rise of the Jacobins and the Reign of Terror. Amid the chaos, the National Convention created the Jardin des Plantes and the Muséum National d'Histoire Naturelle on June 10th. These institutions reflected the revolution's impact on science and education, with the garden housing one of the first public zoos. On July 13th, Charlotte Corday, a Girondin sympathizer, assassinated Jean-Paul Marat, a radical journalist, in his bath. Marat's death shocked the nation and deepened the divisions within the revolution. 4 days later, on July 17th, Charlotte Corday was executed. Her act of defiance made her a symbol of the revolution's violent divisions. On August 10th, the Louvre opened its doors to the public as an art museum. On September 17th, the Army of the Eastern Pyrenees defeated a Spanish force at the Battle of Perestortes. On October 5th, the British Royal Navy conducted a daring raid on Genoa, capturing French warships sheltering in the neutral port. From October 15th to 16th, the Battle of Wattignies saw French Republican forces, commanded by Jean-Baptiste Jourdan, compel a Habsburg Austrian army to retreat. On October 16th, Marie Antoinette, the former Queen of France, was guillotined after a 2-day trial. Her death marked the end of an era and further solidified the revolution's radical turn. On November 2nd, the French dramatist Olympe de Gouges was sentenced to death. A prominent advocate for women's rights, her execution highlighted the revolution's contradictions and the dangers of dissent. On November 10th, the de-Christianization of France reached its peak with the celebration of the Goddess of Reason in Notre Dame Cathedral. This event symbolized the revolution's break with traditional religion. On November 12th, Jean-Sylvain Bailly, the first mayor of Paris, was guillotined. His death was another example of the revolution's relentless purge of its perceived enemies. On December 8th, Madame du Barry, a former mistress of Louis XIV, was guillotined. Her execution underscored the revolution's indiscriminate violence. On December 18th, French forces under Dugommier recaptured Toulon from royalists and British forces. The young Napoleon Bonaparte played a key role in this victory, further cementing his reputation. On December 23rd, the Battle of Savonay saw Republican forces decisively defeat the counter-revolutionary Catholic and Royal Army, ending the Virée de Galerne and crushing the Vendée uprising. Amid the chaos, Dominique Jean Larrey, chief surgeon of the French Revolutionary Army, created the first battlefield flying ambulance service. This innovation revolutionized military medicine and saved countless lives. Over in the United States, January 9th, Jean-Pierre Blanchard became the first to fly in a gas balloon in the U.S. His flight over Philadelphia captivated the nation and symbolized the spirit of innovation that defined the era. From March 1st to 3, John Langdon served as President pro tempore of the United States Senate until George Washington was sworn in for his second term as president in Philadelphia. On April 9th, Edmund Charles Genet, France's new minister to the United States, arrived in Charleston, South Carolina. His mission was to seek American support for revolutionary France. On April 22nd, President Washington signed the Neutrality Proclamation, declaring that the United States would remain impartial in the conflict between France and Great Britain. On April 25th, the pioneer parishes of New Orleans and Louisiana were erected and incorporated into the Roman Catholic Diocese of Louisiana and the two Floridas. On June 21st, the town of Hamilton, Massachusetts was incorporated. On July 9th, the Act Against Slavery was passed in Upper Canada. On July 20th, Scottish explorer Alexander Mackenzie completed his 1792 to 1793 Peace River expedition, reaching the Pacific Ocean at Bella Coola, British Columbia. He became the first known person to complete a transcontinental crossing of northern North America. On July 29th, John Graves Simcoe decided to build a fort and settlement at Toronto. His vision would lay the foundation for one of Canada's largest and most vibrant cities. From August 1st to November 9th, Philadelphia was struck by a devastating yellow fever epidemic. The outbreak claimed 5,000 lives and brought the nation's capital to a standstill. On September 18th, President Washington, along with 8 other Freemasons dressed in Masonic regalia, laid the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol. On December 9th, New York City's first daily newspaper, the American Minerva, was established by Noah Webster. In 1793, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin, a revolutionary device that transformed the cotton industry. However, this invention also led to a resurgence of slavery in the South. Lawrence Academy was chartered in Groton, Massachusetts. The first year of regular production began for the United States Mint in 1793, and the half-cent was minted for the first time. On January 23rd, the Russian Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia carved up the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth with the Second Partition of Poland, further eroding Polish sovereignty. In March, the Republic of Mainz was established as the first democratic state on German soil. However, it lasted only until July as coalition forces crushed the fledgling republic. In June, the British Macartney Embassy, led by George Macartney, 1st Earl Macartney, reached Canton, China. The mission aimed to expand trade and diplomatic relations, but their efforts were rebuffed by Zhengri, based on the Chinese view of the Qianlong Emperor as the son of heaven, who had no equal. From June 20 to 26, the Haitian Revolution saw a pivotal moment at the Battle of Cap Français. French Republican troops and black slave insurgents defeated royalist and slave-owner settlers. In August, France took a monumental step by decreeing the abolition of slavery in Saint-Domingue. On July 31st, Oulu Castle in Finland was destroyed in an explosion following the burning of a powder cellar. On September 8th, the first Círio de Nazaré was celebrated in Belém, Brazil. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which event from 1793 you find most fascinating. See you next time.